Welcome to Sumner School Business Immigration Basics. In this video, we're talking about tips for developing the job description and requirements in the PERM labor certification context. So remember, in the PERM world, we're talking about minimum requirements for the position. Department of Labor is not interested in what the preferred requirements are, what the ideal requirements are, what the foreign national actually has, although that is something to consider. Instead, they want to know what are the minimum requirements for the position. So in preparing the job description and requirements, the elements that we're looking at are things like the job duties, the tasks that are required on a day-to-day basis, the job title, of course, the education requirements, including the degree level and the field or fields of study, the experience requirement expressed in terms of months or years, any specific skills, certifications, licensures that are required for the position. So where do you start with this? Of course, everything has to be accurate and truthful. One starting point could be if the employer has an existing job description. Sometimes employers will have a job description for every position in the company. That would be a great place to start in terms of determining the minimum requirements for the position. If the company does not have that, we also ask if they have posted recently for this position. So for example, if you have posted in the past 6 months or year, we want to keep it fairly recent. But if you posted fairly recently for this particular position, then thinking about what you posted, looking back at those postings and seeing what were the minimum requirements for the position according to those postings. Even if you don't have those postings, think about people who have previously occupied this position and what you have required of those people. That can also be a helpful starting point. Finally, think about what you actually would require in real life or when you're going through the PERM labor certification process, what you actually would require for this position. So in other words, what is something that if the person did not have that experience or education or specific skill, that they absolutely would not be considered for the position because they're just not eligible for it. They're not prepared for the position. So that can be things like if the person does not have experience in one particular type of industry. So for example, I have had clients who work in accounting, but the employer requires that the employee have experience in X type of industry, doing accounting in X type of industry. If there's a certification or a licensure or a particular field of study that's absolutely required, that has to be built into the job description from the very start. As we said in the last video, the job description that we submit as part of the part of the prevailing wage request serves as the basis for the job description and the requirements for the rest of the process. So we're not able to change it once you start receiving resumes. So we encourage employers to start thinking at the beginning of the process about once you start receiving resumes and going through resumes, going through applications, perhaps having interviews, what are the things that are absolutely critical for this position that you would not hire a person if they didn't have, and that you would not be able to reasonably train a person on within a reasonable amount of time? That's something that the Department of Labor can consider as well. So what are those key pieces of education, experience, specific skills, certifications that are absolutely critical to this position? We have to bake those into the job description from the very beginning. Finally, another consideration is, a key consideration is, what does the foreign national actually have? So sometimes employers will come to us and say, okay, this position requires at least 60 months, 60, of experience as a, for example, accountant. We'll stick with the accounting example. And you look at the foreign national's background, you ask them for letters of experience, and they can show that they have 48 months of experience. Then they don't meet the requirements for the position. And it's critical both at the PERM stage and the I-140 stage that we be able to, especially at the I-140 stage, we be able to document that they meet the requirements for the position. And that's important for the PERM application as well. So it's not just a matter of what are the minimum requirements for the employer, but also making sure that the foreign national beneficiary, the person for whom this PERM is being filed, actually meets those requirements and can document that they meet those requirements. So I hope that this information is helpful. If you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss our next episode in Sumner School Immigration Basics. My name is Emily Sumner with Sumner Immigration Law. We help clients with employment-based and family-based matters throughout the United States and around the world. Until next time.